What's going on, folks? I wanted to take some time and explain what's on our list, best way to market to it, and kind of show how our team is utilizing our data and the best way to get the most leads and yeah, make more money. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. All right. So here we go. This is the current standard format of our list. Over here, column B is the year and month that it was produced. First column's county. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory on this part. I'm gonna scroll over here and I just want to highlight a few things so you guys are aware. Um, so in this, there's kind of two fields that are important about, as far as like list stacking that we do for y'all. And it's these two here, AL and AJ. Both are important and you should use them to market in different ways. Tax delinquency and death are obviously there's the relevance there as far as motivation. It'll show the year that they were tax delinquent. Um, so, use that to your advantage. I mean, if people are tax delinquent and someone passed away, that shows that, there's obviously more motivation. I want to focus a little more time talking about on, the vacancy indicator over here. This isn't perfect. I the first leg of our marketing I do is I mail, and I get a lot of return mail that they tell me USPS will actually say if someone's deceased there and or if it's vacant. Both of those imply the same thing, but you really should be approaching these vacant properties in a different way. Obviously, if a property's sitting there vacant and someone passed away, this is a property that's going to sell. There's something's going to happen here. And, this really is the meat of this list. And so what I would recommend and how we do it is, when we see a vacant property, we don't mail them. I sort these out and I don't mail the vacant properties. I get on the phone and I call literally every single number, even the deceased. So, I start over here. Here's the deceased first name, last name. I'm calling that person. And then the spouse, I'm calling those folks as well if there's a spouse that's listed. And then I'll call the relatives. And I start this conversation by saying something like, hey, I sent a letter to this property, even though you didn't. I sent a letter to this property and it got returned to me. And I'm, just curious if, um, you know, who the owner is. I'd like to talk to the owner. And, you're searching for someone who's in control, who has power over this estate. And, oftentimes that's not the named executor. It's, a friend, it's a brother, it's a sibling, it's a child. And they've just kind of taken this process on their behalf. And you're trying to make that connection. And so you say, hey, I'm just looking for the owner. And it's like, oh man, my dad passed away. And you empathize and you talk with this person about that. And you say, well, you can explain, well, I'm really sorry to intrude into this process, but I'm a home buyer. I'm trying to buy properties, and I'm interested in this place. Are you guys going to sell it? Do you have plans to sell it? And you go from there. But so we skip trace, we find and skip trace 3 additional relatives, but man, don't stop there. Like there's other channels that you could go to. You could go to True People Search and look for associates on there. Like call everyone, because 99% of the investor world is not going this deep on a single property. But if it's sitting there vacant and someone died, this property is going to move. So do the hard work and go an inch wide but a mile deep on these singular properties that are listed as vacant, and you're gonna do more deals here. So I know I repeated myself several times, but I just really want to drive this home. This is arguably the largest opportunity on this list. Vacant properties, hit them hard. And also do the same when you get those return letters and it says deceased or vacant, do the same thing on all of those. And I promise you, you will do more deals because of this. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that part, of the list there. There's another piece that is important that I want you to see. Down here, there's a tab called additional properties. And this is pertinent because, there's, 10-15% of, the population who do the same things that we do, where they're investors in real estate. They own more than one property. And if and when they pass away, these properties are in limbo. They're absentee owned, they're landlords, someone's managing them, and maybe the person who managed them passed away, or maybe the spouse who was a co-owner of these properties passed away, and this person's this was the last domino, and they're like, man, I'm just ready to sell, I want to move on, I need to start some new chapters in my life. These people on the list are, in my opinion, the other greatest place to find really motivated folks. So you can see here, this first, they've got, they've got 2 properties here. And so, they're absentee owned, they've got them there, these assets are gonna move, and usually they're the first thing that sells because there's no emotional significance here. It was a monetary play, they were an asset that they used to make money, and when someone passes away, this is like the first thing that goes. And so I personally market to these folks a lot harder than I do the rest of the list. The rest of the list, I'm hitting them on a 3-month cadence. I hit them with the letter right away, and then I let 3 months pass and I hit them again. These folks, I am hitting them with the letter right away. We're calling as many people as we can right away, and we're like working these people on a monthly basis, not every 3 months. If you do good marketing to this whole list, there's opportunity. If you do good marketing to this specific additional properties list, there is a really, really great potential of you not only just finding a deal, but potentially finding a portfolio of deals where these people are liquidating everything, and you can be the perfect solution for them. Come in, offer them a cash price, and make your payday and move on to the next one. So I wanted to take a second, explain just the real value of these components so you could market to them, hit them in the right way. That's, I think, all I have to share about the list. So use that for what it's worth. A couple other things as far as marketing goes. This is going to be part of a Google Drive where I'll share all of my marketing material that I use to get the most opportunity from this list. So in there, I've got, I think there's like 5 templates of letters, and I label them from first until, I get to the postcard, and that's what I successively send to them over, basically until they tell me to stop marketing to them. Because once someone passes away, they're getting to an age where this property will transfer hands at some point. I don't know when, but I want to do a good enough job as a marketer to have them think of me when they want to sell their property. So I've sent them 6 letters, whatever. I've sent them 6 mail pieces, and all of a sudden, in their own head, for some reason, the lawnmower breaks while they're taking care of the lawn, and they're like, you know what? I've had it with this crap. I'm done. I'm ready to move on. Where's that postcard that Micah sent me? I'm calling them. I need to be done with this. those long-term leads that you follow up on for a long period of time, and they think of you rather than, a realtor, rather than going onto Google, you are, for the most part, the only person who they're talking with. There isn't competition. It's a much lower lower amount of saturation as far as who they're talking to about this list. They're just like, I'm ready. I know this person does it because they've been reaching out to me for months, maybe years, and they're ready to move on, and they call you. And that's the power of good marketing. And anyone will tell you that's why, the biggest companies win, because they have the most to spend to stay in front of you, and they keep themselves, their company name, top of mind. So yeah, that's direct mail. I did want to talk about calling. We skip trace the list. We provide a bunch of data, and not all of the numbers on our list have the same, I guess, gravity as far as connecting them with someone. Someone who passed away, we skip trace them, but you can't call them, right? You can't get them on the line, and that's what makes it a good lead, but it makes it challenging to know who to contact to. So when we have people calling, where I'm having them focus on this work, I'm gonna share my screen one more time, is I'm having them go over to the spouse. So on my list, they're hitting these folks right here on the list. So they're going to go through, they're going to call all the spouses and, work this segment of the list. It's a strong connection. You can get them on the line, and you can talk with them and form relationships with them. And I can't stress this enough. It's relationship first, then you get the opportunity to buy the property. If you come on here and you're basically lowballing every opportunity that you have when you're talking about a property, you're going to miss all of the deals, except for that rare occasion when there actually is no work and no negotiation. So call the spouses, work through them, and make a connection. Maybe they're going to tell you about the death. Maybe you're going to have to empathize. Maybe you're going to have an awkward conversation. But this is where, if you're a cold caller, you can focus on this list, because the death is a significant enough event where they're reconsidering what they're doing with their life. They're reconsidering how they want to live the rest of their days in the absence of their spouse. And obviously be sensitive here, because they're grieving. Our list, we generate it on average, it's about 6 weeks after the death. That's a really short period of time when we're talking about losing something that is irreplaceable. So sensitivity is key here. And then if you're considering texting, if texting is part of your marketing platform, I would start with the spouses and go from there. You can work into the relatives, but the thing is like, they're not always the owner. They're not always the key person to talk to. So for me and my operation, we just text the spouses. We call, we text them, and we mail everyone except the vacant properties. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that you really need to be requalifying your letters. I've got a stack right here. These came in the mail from the last mailing that I did. On here, it tells you, this first one, it says, deceased. Like if USPS knows they're deceased and they're sending it back to you saying, hey, there's no one to talk to here. You can't send letters. This person passed away. That property is going to sell. Or, it's going to transfer title to someone, because the only person who lived there is gone. So, really, when you're getting these letters back, doing the requalifying work on those and working really hard, because it's not a lot. It's maybe, whatever, 5% of the total list that you're going to have to go through and work these. But this really is where the absolute gold nuggets are. And you have to be willing to do the extra work and dive a lot deeper. But requalifying, and again, it's this is like painful. It's you got to build some kind of a business process around it where it can just happen. You know, maybe you put it on a spreadsheet, then you give it to your cold callers. Your cold callers do research for you, whatever it needs to be, so it gets done. But if you're not doing this with our list, you're leaving tons of money on the table. Thanks for taking a minute to, you know, kind of just understand how we're marketing. If you have questions, you know, I'm happy to, you know, kind of work with you via email or phone call. Let me know. But you know, I'm happy you decided to use our list, and I look forward to helping you any way I can to grow your real estate portfolio or build your wholesaling business or your, you know, your brokerage, whatever it might be. Best of luck, and look forward to being in touch in the future.